let's take a look at Materia Medica searching or book searching. So if we click on the tab, you don't need to do this in order to do the search, by the way. I just wanted to point out a few things. Firstly, just to remind you, if you haven't added any books to the ISIS Vision program, then you won't see anything below my notes, so you won't see any of these subsequent books. Regarding my notes, if we click on it, there's different sections where you can add information yourself. You can see I've added in here Belladonna has fear of dogs, and I'll show you how that comes through in the search in a moment. But this is really useful, I think, because if you've taken notes over the years, or you go to a seminar and you want to add your information so it becomes much more usable, you can type it in here, and even if you can't type in the whole thing, you can type in key points rather than having your notes stored away somewhere. You can also, if you've got typed notes, you can copy and paste them in. I believe you can also scan information in too. A couple of other points. Firstly, once you've added some information in here, they don't take effect until you restart the program. So if you do a search straight away, you won't see the results come through. And secondly, the golden rule. Don't forget the golden rule, and that's to back up every addition that you make. Otherwise, if you have a system crash, that information is lost forever. Okay, let's go to the search dialog box. And instead of being on our repertory tab, I'm going to click on the Materia Medica tab, and I'm going to type in fear of dogs. Now I've got all books selected here, so let's do a quick search for fear of dogs. Okay, and just to illustrate, the first thing that comes through are my notes, so you can see this is information I typed in. So that's come through when we search the book side of the program, and obviously all the books below have entries for remedies that contain reference to fear of dogs. Now I can change that setting if I want to, and rather than looking at the books, I can look at the remedy first. So you'll see that it's showing the information the other way around. So this time I'm seeing that aconite is a remedy, and then I'm seeing that aconite is within Tyler's drug picture. This time I'm going to select a book to search within. So here's Synoptic 1 or Synoptic 2. I can highlight it, and now I can search for dogs within that. If I want to select a group of books together, then I just suppress the shift key on my keyboard, and you'll see each one I highlight comes up together. If I want to select a number of books but not necessarily in a block like that, then I suppress the control key, and any book that I highlight will now come through as a book that's going to be searched. So I've highlighted 4 books there. I'm going to search those 4 books, and here you can see they've come through. I can also search within a specific remedy. So I'm going to type in, so I'm going to change this to all books. I'm going to type in Belladonna. So just double click on the remedy and it shifts over to the search box. And here we can see the results in the left pane. So if I look in Vermeulen's Concordant, you can see fear of dogs. Now an interesting point is if I look in Synoptic 1, you can see fear and dogs, but they're not necessarily together. And there's a setting we can use to get around that. In the search dialog box down here, we can put all words must be within and then stipulate how close they should be. Now another point about that is that one of our big competitors used to really push Materia Medica searching as the primary way of searching. We've always thought that repertory searching should be the first place to start, because the repertory is structured in a way to be searched, unlike Materia Medica. And there are things called lemons, so that's a good example of a lemon, where you might have created a rubric from a very big Materia Medica search. You might have remedies come through that have both the word fear and dogs in there, but they're not related, so it's giving you a false reading. You can also apply synonyms and or stemming, and that means stemming is where if you put in the word dog, it will search for dogs or dogging, so any extension to the word dog that's related. I'm just going to end by showing you an example of how I used this search facility, which I think is invaluable. And that's, I wrote an article many years ago, unrelated to homeopathy, but I wanted to quote Hahnemann talking about obstacles to cure. And I spent a long time looking through my handheld organon, couldn't find any information, and then I suddenly realised, well, why don't I search within ISIS? So I did that. So let's stipulate the book. So if I go here and choose Hahnemann's organon, so I'm searching in Hahnemann's organon for obstacles to cure. And you can see that that information comes through for us. So this is really useful. It's also useful for confirming a remedy that you can't find in the repertory, but I'll cover that in a different video.